Today is about you carrying the voice for your loved one who can no longer speak because they were silenced by violent crime. It's about making sure that their voice is heard and their message is heeded to by the California legislature. A legislature that has turned its backs on you, the victims of crime. In its 10 years, it saved the state of California $30 billion, but more importantly, in its 10 years, it saved 37,000 lives. 37,000 individuals in California were not victims due to 3 strikes. The people of the state of California fell prey to commercials prompted by those that are soft on crime. They fell prey to the talks that 3 strikes was busting the budget. And the result of them falling prey was a weakening of 3 strikes that is devastating California. We are here today to demand that the California legislature bring back the strength to 3 strikes that protected all those citizens of California.
It was 3 judges, some police officers, defense attorney, members of the local school board, businessmen, even a talk radio show host. From that simple and humble beginning, it was refined and polished to one of the, by some of the best legal minds in California. The attempt to legislate it failed, and that left us with only one option, and that was to place it on the ballot directly. This route would require over 400,000 signatures and over $2 million. We went forward even though this looked like it was a mission that was destined to fail. Then, suddenly, the tragedy of yet another young lady was front and center in the news. The rape, the kidnap, murder of 12-year-old Polly Klaas by a repeat offender. The outrage suddenly sent people looking for 3 strikes petitions. 3 strikes, the initiative, had been carefully crafted over the previous 1.5 years and just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and it became the fastest qualifying initiative in state history. It was so widely supported that it not only passed on the ballot, but also our California legislature passed it by near unanimous vote. 3 strikes is the only law that has ever been passed both by the people and by the legislature of this state. Within 3 years, California crime dropped. We were the 3rd highest crime state in the United States. We dropped from 3rd down to 29. We went, our actual crime rates dropped in half. In the 10 years prior to 3 strikes, California prison populations expanded 400%. And California funded and built 19 new prisons. In the first 10 years of 3 strikes, prison population expanded, but only by 26%, and then it has leveled off, and it's been about the same level for the last 19 years. Now, California, and it's been 19 years, California has only funded and built 1 new prison in the last 19 years. You can't go nearly 20 years in a state that is the biggest in the U.S. and build only 1 new prison. In the last 20 years, California added 10 million people. Our overcrowded prisons are now turning their inmates over to overcrowded county jails, and in turn, overcrowded county jails are just turning criminals loose onto our streets. 2012 has seen the biggest increase in crime in California since before the passage of 3 strikes nearly 20 years ago. This increase in crime has been made worse by financial constraints on our justice system, from courts to cops to prosecutors to parole agents. All have more crimes and criminals with which to deal with, while having fewer resources and agents and officers to deal with them. One of the few things that was still working to stop crime was 3 strikes. Along came Prop 36 to weaken 3 strikes. Why would the voters weaken what has been called the most effective crime law in the United States? The answer is simple. With 11 initiatives on our ballot, people and voters rely on the title to tell them truthfully what is in an initiative. Prop 36 had a title that read like this: Three Strikes Law, Sentencing for Repeat Offenders. 2-1, most people thought that meant it was going to be tougher on crime. And they voted for it with that understanding. Now, as we speak, thousands of California's most active, serious and violent criminals are being released back out onto our streets. All are repeat offenders and all have multiple convictions for serious and violent crime.